Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with another recap and review for Love and Marriage DC. This is season 1, episode 4, Sex, Lies, and the Great Debate. And as always, I am Janice, Barb, whatever you want to call me. Just do not call me Janice or Barbara. I do not have a candle burning right now because, quite honestly, I just didn't get to it. And yeah, but in my next video, I promise we'll get back to our candles, scents of the day, what not, all that good stuff. I'm still, getting my angles right and everything. I hope I'm showing up crystal clear in 4K for you all, but just bear with me, y'all. Just bear with me. But anywho, let's get into the recap and review, shall we? So this episode begins where the previous episode left off, at the women minus Monique, because she is in the motherland, honey, right now. She's on a little family vacay in Africa right now, so she cannot join ladies, but I think it was Winter. Yes, Winter is the one who brought everyone together, and I guess, kind of to clear the air from the previous dinner, the vegan dinner that Monique hosted at her house before she took off. We see how that ended, especially more specifically, clear the air and the tension up between herself, Winter, and Ashley. Because we did see in the previous episode that Ashley, she was coming off, and maybe that is just her. Maybe that's just how she is. But I can easily see how one can be put off by her line of questioning and her stance on the whole Winter Kevin thing, Winter in general thing, all that. So I think that's good on Winter. She was being the bigger person there and decided to have a sit down, because they all know that they will be obviously sharing space together. They'll be filming together. These are all they have a mutual friend, which is Monique, and she is going to continue to try to, obviously get them all together. So it's like, well, shit, we might as well get along, right? So luckily they after going back and forth with a little bit, we saw in the last episode, they're now able to kind of move on the right step forward, I guess. We'll see. But Ashley, everybody, I haven't written anybody off just yet, but I can easily see I'm starting to formulate some hard opinions about some individuals. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you're starting to feel as though you can paint a clearer picture of these cast members, because it's still early on. It's only episode 4, but I think I'm starting to, yeah, I know what's tea, sis. But anyway, so they all sitting there, they cleared that up. Let me read my notes. We gotta learn that, I guess, all the ladies have been through things in their marriages, kind of, sort of, I guess we could say that. Irena and Ashley have pretty similar outlooks on what I see as some, I don't know if it's, you want to call it, don't hear no evil, don't see no evil, don't speak no evil, or whatever, ignorance is bliss, or I don't really know what you want to call it. And I think it's all deeply rooted in that they're just very content with their daily lives. They don't want to do anything to disrupt that. And it's like, okay, I get that. Do I agree? No. But they're willing to accept, quite honestly, it seems like some bullshit to me. Couldn't be me. I can't do the double standards. I can't do the sketchiness, the shadiness. I can't do, I can't just turn a blind eye to my intuition or those gut feelings or anything like that. But if they can do that, if they like it, I love it. And this is where I started to kind of see like, okay, this is, especially with Irena, and we'll kind of get into that more, but I'll just say this for now, that I saw like, okay, if we're trying to, because everyone keeps trying to compare the two shows, the Huntsville and this show. And what I see is that we get so irritated with Tisha and everything because Tisha knows something is up. Deep down inside, she knows something's up, or, you know, that she has these insecurities or whatever. She tries to act unbothered, but really she's bothered because she shows it every time. She shows her hand every time. Even if it's indirectly, she shows it. Whereas with Irena, I feel like, yeah, she's saying like, oh, I never caught him, or, you know, I never found anything or whatever. And I'm all about like, you know, yeah, if you don't want to go looking for something, then you just want it to just, you know, if it's going to be, then it's going to appear to you. Okay, fine, cool, whatever. If that's your thing, then do this, whatever. But I think with Irena, it's more like, how do I say? It's like, yeah, these women, they're clearly saying like, well, I never found anything, so I'm okay or whatever. So fine, case closed. I'm not going to sit here and advocate for you or anything like that. You said you never found anything. You're cool with it. You're not making it a big deal. We're not hearing about it every two seconds. You don't have your family members coming up there cursing him out or nothing like that. So fine. And if that's the La La Land you want to live in, live in it. Anyway, so next we see Ashley. She's visiting Sean, who is Quick's manager, to talk about this upcoming the CIAA the CIAA events, and you know how he's about to do all these 12-15 shows he's about to do, which sounds like a recipe for disaster. So much. And we know this because apparently, you know, unfortunately, Quick has a history of working himself up to exhaustion, so much so that he gets in car accidents, which I honestly am very confused about, and maybe you guys can enlighten me in the comments. But it's like, okay, if you're pulling in all this money, if you're trying to, you know, create such a great life for your family, and this is why, you know, you have such a strong work ethic about yourself, why don't you guys have a car service on standby? Why aren't you driving yourself? All of these things. And I mean, Ashley, it's not your job or anything like that, but I think that's what you should also be, a conversation y'all should be having. And I haven't heard you say that to him. That's one mitigating factor, if you ask me. And then also you're coming up here telling Sean this, when Sean is the one that kind of instilled this type of work ethic in him and is probably getting a commission off of him doing all of these shows and stuff. So it's like, whatever, man. Again, why not have a car service? But, you know, he's so dead set on providing them this life that he hasn't had. My whole thing is kind of like, well, did you ask them what kind of life they want or whatever? Maybe the kids just want, you know, daddy to be home on a Saturday night playing board games and drinking soda and eating popcorn with them. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe, you know. And Ashley also, you know, you need to do some reflecting yourself and whatnot. And maybe he feels like he needs to go so hard because, like, I'm sure living that, you know, such an opulent lifestyle, you get accustomed to, you know, nice things or, you know, whatever. So maybe that's a conversation you guys need to come to have as well, and make it be known that, hey, I don't mind foregoing, you know, all the bells and whistles if it means having you home more. Some conversations need to be having in a lot of these households. That's all I'm gonna say. Moving on. The Samuels, we see them in Africa. More specifically, at this point, we see them in Tanzania. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to go. My husband has spent some time in Africa before, but next time around, ain't no more souls over here. We going together, boo. So, yeah. Real soon, that's gonna happen real soon. Y'all just wait. That's why you gotta subscribe so you can see. You can see that vlog when it comes out. But anyway, we don't really get too much in their trip, any footage from that, which is fine. I think that Monique put so much stock into this trip, and that we also kind of see later on in the episode that kind of backfires a little bit, if you ask me. But for now, I'm happy that they just got to enjoy their trip kind of offline a little bit like that. Fast forward again, we get Jason. Jason is Irena and Jamie's son. He's visually impaired, and we find out that Jamie really wants him to be a DJ, and that's always kind of the way that he's been pushing him all this time, because he did show an interest in music earlier on, like when he was like in his adolescence. But now we find out that Jason, he wants to work for Apple, you know, he wants to do that type of work, and I think that's great. And I think it's good that he was able to vocalize this once and for all, and we see that he vocalizes this to Irena, which we can also see even with Lil Jamie, like she's the one that had the conversation with him first. I don't really think that the kids go up and try to talk to Jamie and rationalize with him very much or whatever, because we'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, we find out that he is trying to go and is in the process of getting set up with the Doors program, which kind of teaches individuals that have disabilities life skills and how to basically live on their own and all that good stuff that you really need. And I really hope it works out for him. He's 21, so yes, I really hope that works out for him. He wants to be able to do more for himself, we could see. And I'm not exactly sure how they brought their kids up, because it seems like maybe they sheltered Jason, which I could kind of understand. Okay, like you want to make sure that if your child can't do for themselves or anything like that, obviously you want to make sure they're protected, they're safe, that you need to be of assistance to them. So I get that, but it almost seems like it's a detriment to him now, because he wants to do more and stuff like that, but he doesn't have the skill set to be able to do that, comfortably, safely, without supervision. So that's how they raised him, I suppose. And then even with Big Jamie, I mean, hey, you can raise the out of your kids, or put them on the right path, all that, whatever you want to call it, and they still gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. But we see that with him. And then Brittany, who is not Jamie's biological daughter, she is Irena's daughter from a previous marriage, but he's, that's her dad. He's raised her like she was his own. She seems like a lot more structure was instilled in her, if that makes sense. And I don't know, I don't want to play the gender card or anything like that. I'm gonna keep watching before I speak on that, but I was just like, okay, noted. I already talked about him, Jamie forcing the DJ thing on him. I understand Irena's viewpoint. I wrote that in my notes. Moving right along, Winter and Irena, they sit down and they're trying to get to know each other more, because that's what everyone's trying to do right now. We're trying to get to know each other more. We're trying to leave the acquaintance title in the past. We're trying to move on to a friend circle for real. So that's what they're doing at this point. Irena brings up Ashley right off the bat, kind of, which rubs Winter a little bit the wrong way, because she's like, okay, is this about me and you forming a friendship, or like why are we bringing up Ashley? Like, what does Ashley got to do with this? Like, we should be able to talk about us and what we trying to do, not Ashley. So I got that. Winter also shares that she's abstinent. They had a whole conversation about that. Irena, we also learn at this point that Irena was accepting attention from other guys via her DM, which this, I believe, was a statement that was made when we were on the subject of her saying like, oh, he's done his dirt, I've done my dirt too. And I'm like, Are you saying that because you truly believe that, or are you saying that because it sounds good to you, or for whatever narrative or persona you're trying to give off? Like, I don't feel like, 26 years, like, I'm sure there's been happy moments. I'm sure to a degree, yeah, you might be happy in your daily life on that surface level, but clearly there's some fractures up in there. We find out that their sex life, which over time being with people, I would tell you, your sex life gonna go up, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go up, it's gonna be down, there's gonna be peaks, valleys, it's gonna be all type. You go through different phases of your marriage. I know this. So I get that. But it just seems like they just on a deeper level or on two different pages or whatnot. And I think a lot of that is rooted in the fact that she truly doesn't believe the whole, oh, I didn't find anything, so nothing happened. No. Like, deep down inside what you know, or what you think you know, or whatever, or that just doesn't completely sit right with you. So, and you keep saying that, but your actions are saying something else, i.e., not having as high of a sex drive, or at least not having as much of a sexual attraction to him, possibly because you think in the back of your head, he's out there just slinging D all over the DC, all over the DMV. That's probably what you're thinking deep down inside. So it's like, it's not, if you're not happy, just say that. Like, because again, it's not really matching up. And do I believe that she was really like out here doing dirt, cheating for real, or it moved from the DM to something more than that? Like, no, I mean, if that's what she says happened and that was it, then that was it. But I do kind of believe that there was a little, maybe an ounce more flirting. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. She also says a bit of their issues could have been her fault. I kind of spoke on that. I feel like that's just her pacifying his behavior or whatever. So, on the topic of their lackluster sex life, Winter refers Irena go see a sex therapist that she knows. Irena agrees, so we'll see if that happens. Meanwhile, we head back to Irena's house where she's hosting a family crab boil, family dinner or whatever. Irena can't cook. She can't cook at all. So much so that she's greasing down things that don't need to be greased down. And now I see why they had the mama move in there, because she's a disaster up in that kitchen. I just gotta say it. And she put it out there, so I don't have no issue saying it. Girl, stay out the kitchen. She can dress though. She can dress. Anyway. So they all sit down and this is when Irena drops the whole DJ bomb on Jamie, where she says, hey, Jason doesn't really want a DJ. And he speaks up for himself, which I was like, good on you. Speak up. Tell him how you feel. Don't hold back. Jason says his wishes, and Jamie completely like negates it and just continues to push this whole DJ narrative. And I'm just like, what do you want? Like, why are you wanting him to be a DJ so much? You're in the club scene or whatever. You're not even a DJ, but like, okay, like, but why? Do you think that would just be easy? Do you think he'll fail if he trying to work for Apple? Do you think, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from him so much so that you're pushing this? Like, weird. I don't know what to think about that. And I felt like for a minute, like, no one was really supporting what he was saying. And I don't know. I want Irena to be more like firm in how she, and I get it. Maybe she feels like needs to be more softer and nurturing because Jamie ain't gonna be that. But I need her to have a conversation with her husband and be like, hey, I support him doing that. And I think maybe he needs someone to talk. I don't know. Then Brittany says, their daughter says she felt the same way and hasn't truly found her niche, because she's always done what she was supposed to do. And I'm like, that's that right there. And that's what I was saying before. I'm like, so your son over here saying this, your daughter over here saying this and doing it. Like, do you guys exercise different parenting styles on per child or whatever? And I get that you, to a degree, you kind of have to do that. You have to tailor your parenting style because everything is not going to be conveyed how it needs to be conveyed, and you're not going to get through to every child the same way. I get that, but okay, I don't like it too much. And Irena has so much to say on the subject during her confessionals, but I feel like she don't really just say it right then and there when it needs to be said in the real-time conversations. More so when her husband is right there too. I feel like that's what needs to be definitely said so he can know, like, But whatever, that's kind of it for their whole family dinner. So then we get to a date night with Jamie and Irena and Quick and Ashley. They go to Spin DC, which next time, my husband's in DC. I want to go there. It looked cool, looked fun. I want to go there. I told him already. But Jamie tells the other couple about Jason not wanting to go to DJ school. I don't really remember what came of that too much. And Irena tells them about Winter referring them to the sex therapist. And of course, Jamie's not affectionate or anything like that. He just want to just flip her around and dick her down, which, okay, I'm not going to say that that's not a bad thing sometimes. I'm not going to say that. But you need that foreplay. You need that affection. You need, to know how to get your partner going, and they're lacking in that area right now, it seems like. But instead of having open dialogue about that, I guess Jamie wants to, he's too prideful. He's doing the whole, like, sorry, but the whole male pride thing right now. And I'm just like, see, this is the issue. Instead of actually talking about it, being honest with yourself, being honest with your situation, you just want her to be quiet and not speak of that and act like there's no issue between you guys. Like, no, y'all need to get it together, and you play a role in getting that together. So own it. Whatever. But that was pretty much it with their whole date night thing. And before we know it, Monique and Chris are back at home. They had a great time. Like I said before, we didn't get too much footage from it, but overall, they said they had a great time. Monique, like, when she was standing there, I don't care. We're not going to talk about anything in regards to her and that other show or anything like that. I'm not like a super Monique fan, but she started off on a cold, clean slate with me with this show. Like, I don't care about none of that. She looked so beautiful when she was standing there. I was like, oh my, yes, come through turban head wrap, come through locks updo, come through makeup, come through, like, yes, she's just so beautiful to me. And she just looks so beautiful, just radiating, just all that, standing there. But they begin to discuss vulnerability, and she says that her walls are up because his have been up so long. So it's like they're kind of doing this running on a hamster wheel thing, because it's like, well, I gave you that for so long, you didn't give it to me, so now I'm numb or just like whatever to it, and now I'm trying and you're not reciprocating that, so now I'm like, like, so they just got to really match up. And this is something that definitely resonates with me, because this is a very real issue that, affects couples and whatever, that I've seen in my own, like, in my own life, and with people I've seen before. So I feel like they just gotten into a routine, and they're just kind of like, or maybe she is more so like kind of numb to the issues, or to like actually the whole thing. And maybe, like, I believe, yes, he is trying and he does care, but it takes a great deal of patience and understanding to really work on the emotional connection and emotional side of things, and to really get deep and deeply connected with one another. But I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be able to get through this. It's just getting out of their comfort zone. More so, I mean that, I guess, on his part, and then also her just giving him just a little bit more patience, which could be uncomfortable too, because like, I gave you so much patience or whatever, for them to really get to the point that they want to be at. But before they can even do that, she shuts down, and Chris is then confused. Production steps in, so we'll continue to see what happens with that next week, and it's kind of like a whole like blow up or whatever. And I hate to see that between them, because like I said, I truly believe that they'll be okay and be able to get through this and really do love each other and want this to work. I don't always get so up in arms about the ones that we see that they really don't need to be together, or it's obvious that they don't really care about each other, nothing like that. But when it comes to Chris and Monique, I really do. I want them to work through this and get this down pat. And I think that they're gonna do it. And I think we'll be able to see it on the big screen. So anyway, that's really it for this episode. Oh, actually, I'm lying. Am I lying? One second, y'all. I think that's mostly it for this episode. We'll see the rest of that play out next week, y'all. But let me know what you think of this recap and review of Love and Marriage DC. I will see you guys in the next one, of course. But before you exit out, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notifications bell so you know every time I post. I told you I'm back, and I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.